and the other one is the fiscal impacts. Be it the landowner was here. He has a financial stake in this particular property, and he deserves a reasonable rate of return on his investment. Okay? I'm speaking now, please. Okay? The surrounding community, the residents, the concern that this proposal have on their property values, whether it's legitimate or not, it's a concern that they have expressed. And then finally, from the community's perspective, the tax ratables that will be generated from this project or not. Because once again, that's all about the controversy of planning and the planning process that we were exposed to here this evening. That's why I have to compliment the town of Clifton Park in terms of their investments in comprehensive planning. This town does not do things just at the spur of the moment. It has been deliberative, and it has invested in planning across the board. And I truly respect the town, and the town should be complimented in that. Because going through that planning process, in this case, the Western GEIS, or the comp plan update, of what's being done on the form-based code for the Route 9, the Exit 9 area. The fact of the matter is, yeah, the town board ultimately approved the plan, but it represents the vision of the community, all the stakeholders in the community. That's what it represents, and I participated in that process. I was not on the planning board at that time, but I did participate in that process in terms of the Western GEIS and the component parts in terms of, and that feedback was provided to the consultants. There were public workshops and things like that, and they came up with a plan that proposed certain changes to be made in the western part of the town. Now, the bottom line is, and I'm going to paraphrase, I think it was Peter, something will be done sometime, someday at this particular location. I'm bastardizing the words, of course, but the bottom line is something's going to go on this parcel. Now, it is owned Hamlet mixed use, and I know folks who bought property on Sterling Heights and have expressed some concerns about the proposed use that's being proposed here. And some of you expressed that it should be forever wild. Well, the fact is, unless we do the comprehensive plan, and unless there's a desire to create a forever wild, which means that property owner would have to be compensated, and we as taxpayers are willing to make those purchases, okay, then we have to, you know, we would reconsider that at that particular time. But at this particular time, I don't see that happening. We got the town open space plan, we got the trails plan, we have these things in place. That is a site that is, maybe it will someday be forever wild, but I will not support it being forever wild at that particular location. It's not appropriate for that particular location. When you bought your property in Sterling Heights, you should have investigated whether or not what that zoning was next to where you're at to ascertain whether you know, in terms of what may occur there in the future. Today's the farm, tomorrow it may be something else, and that has to be taken into account. In terms of the traffic issue, keep in mind, Route 146 is a state highway. It's not a local road. And that highway not just gets traffic as local, that gets through traffic. The gentleman from Glenville, well, that's only because of the improvements that they're making with the bridge in Rexford and things like that. That's only going to increase the amount of traffic flow on 146, okay? You heard the discussion at the previous issue. Traffic. Now, I'm the first to admit this town should do a better job. This region, Southern Sarasota County, should do a better job addressing transportation problems. But you know what? Bottom line, it's going to cost each one of us money, okay? However it is, because this is not just a problem localized in Southern Sarasota County, it's within the capital region, it's within New York State, it's a national issue. We just don't have enough money. So we have to be sensitive, but that doesn't mean we should not allow development to occur. And trip generation is going to occur from an open space to develop activity is going to occur. The GEIS was done for this area. One of the objectives of the Western Clifton Park GEIS was to eliminate the need for a PUD, for a PDD. Okay, that was one of the objectives, that was part of that. This particular area was zoned HM from the B3 zone. Now, I agree with Mike that it doesn't function as an HM area because it's not Rexford, okay? Now, in my visionary attitude, and I am a planner by trade, so I've had this vision thing. It's always a 20-year plan. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow, but I do have the 20-year plan, if you will. But in any case, that Hamlet mixed use, at some point, we have to start sometime. When do we start? And we do have those other corners there that really should be redeveloped. And I'd like to see a much more innovative, thought-provoking ideas for all those three intersections. Yes, there's going to be traffic increase, but we have to live with it. Okay, that goes with the territory. Now, this project is sensitive to the environmental features on the site. There's no doubt about it, and I applaud Price Chopper for thinking smartly when it comes from the building, from the land form to the building design that they're proposing to do. But I have to say that they're not applying a creative use of this space as it relates to the proposed land uses. Not only the Price Chopper, but I have a concern about those ancillary uses, the restaurants and whatever may occur along 146. In my own mind, I would like to see a mixed use activity there that involves, yes, residential, yes, townhouses, not houses on a half-acre parcel of land, okay, but townhouses, as well as commercial and other types of uses. And maybe Price Chopper with a smaller footprint. That could be more of a neighborhood-based store that emulates the store that they have on the corner now versus the big price, the big superstore. To create a sense of community. And the demographics are very favorable to that. The demographics are such that many of us have lived in Clifton Park 30, 40, 50 years. We want to stay in this community. Is there housing alternatives available where we can walk to the store and things like that? This, in my opinion, the Western GEIS and designating this HM was an attempt to promote that type of opportunity. Unfortunately, with this PDD proposed, it seems to be, in my opinion, more of the same. It's not creative, it's not being creative in its application on what I think the vision represented. Yes, the town board ultimately adopting it, but the vision of the community at that time. Now, if there's a desire to revisit that vision, I think, John, the comprehensive plan, you know how I feel about it, should be updated every 5 years. It's not a static document. It's an ongoing dynamic document. If in fact it's determined that it doesn't make sense, then it should be rezoned. And it provides at least with the comp plan, it represents the vision of the community, it provides predictability. And yes, for those of you who live in Sheriff Forest, and I say, I am one of those residents. I live in Sheriff Forest. Some of you may know that, I'm not sure. In the northern part of Sheriff Forest. You're right, when I moved here, that was zone B3. I should not expect anything different than the B3 zone there. And when I purchased my home, it goes to the territory. I have to make a left into 146A every day. Been there, done that. I have to go left onto 146. And sometimes I go a different way, depending on what's going on with the schools and things like that, okay? But the fact that you gotta live with it. I made that choice to live here. I didn't move to a rural community. Okay, I moved to Clifton Park. It is a growing community. You have to expect growth to take place. If I wanted to live in a rural area, I would have moved to northern part of Saratoga County or another more remote location. I moved here and knowing that we don't like change. You know, we bought our house because we like the way it is today. Well, the fact of the matter is, change is inevitable, and there's a transformation that's taking place, and we have to respect that. All that being said, I am not going to support a PDD at this particular time because I think that Hamlet mixed use, I want to give that a chance to work and come up with more creative design at that particular location that takes the form of the HM zones, and then hopefully eventually we will have the function that goes with it in some respects. I know it may be hard to achieve, maybe impossible to achieve, but at least in that particular location, we may have an opportunity to have some type of mixed use opportunity that otherwise would be missing in other parts of the community and moving forward. So that's my opinion on it.
Right.
And once again, I want to thank everyone. So, unless there's any other comments or statements, I'd like to take a vote on this evening. I think we had a lot of very good conversation. So, at this time, you know, and John, we have to vote either support a recommendation for change, support modifications, or do not support it. So it's just a form of a motion.